Hello and welcome to another 40k battle rep. This time, my Custodes take on Necrons, in a 2000 point Scars of Battle mission. Let's take a look at the rosters. This match took place on Halloween, so what better to face than an army of spooky metal skeletons?
It's about to get spooky!
Here's where we placed our objectives. My pre-selected discards were obvious, as I just got rid of things like Witch Hunter and the crap one where you have to hold every objective. For my random discards, I lost all of the secure cards. Oof. Before the first turn, Necrons use the Deceiver's ability to move a unit of Wraiths a lot closer to me, and the Deceiver himself moves here. Right. I get the first turn and Necrons don't seize, so let's see how tough these Wraiths are. My turn 1 cards are the Emperor's Vengeance, Assassinate, and Behind Enemy Lines. To score the Emperor's Vengeance, you have to control an objective which the opponent was controlling at the start of the turn. Conveniently, the teleported unit of Wraiths is sitting on an objective. So, very simple movement in turn 1. I'm able to get a unit of bikes within 3 inches of the objective, so even if I don't wipe out the Wraiths, I'll score it. I pour a ridiculous amount of bolter fire into the Wraiths, but my opponent rolls like a frickin' god for his saves. Here's a sample save roll. After 36 bolter shots from one unit, I end up killing just one Wraith.
Oh shit. Shit indeed.
Well, I'm not too worried, as I have all my jet bikes to charge in if needs be, but I am actually able to finish off the Wraiths with the rest of my shooting, without needing to charge. He has hidden his characters well, and my Vindicator, perched in the center of my deployment zone, can't draw a beat on anyone, so he just helps against the Wraiths. I have some shooting left over from the second Custodes and Telemon, so do a few wounds to the Stalker, leaving it on 4, and kill one Wraith from another unit. So, I roll 2 points for the Emperor's Vengeance, and get first strike, for a total of 3 points. Necrons Turn 1 cards are Psych Warfare, Priority Orders Mission Crit 1, and Big Game Hunter. Oh, for his random discards, he lost all of the Necron-specific ones. At the start of his turn, he pops a strat, and resurrects the one dead Wraith. In movement, his Doom Scythes zoom right over my lines. I think they were out of shot before, but they were near the back of his deployment zone. The left one will be able to target my Vindicator. His Wraiths and Deceiver move up, while the Nightbringer hangs back a bit. His Cryptek Warlord, here, is just about able to reach Objective 1, to net him a bunch of points, but this does put him directly in the firing line of my Vindicator.
Somebody call for an exterminator?
So in shooting, he starts off with some cosmic powers from the Catan shards, doing a mortal wound or 2. Imhotep then takes aim at my central unit of bikes, and calls down a frankly blasphemous bolt of lightning. He does 3 wounds to a bike, and the lightning also manages to arc onto the nearby Custodes, and the Vindicator, doing 3 freaking wounds to the Vindicator.
That's tough. That's tough, man.
Shooting from the Stalker also does a number on the Custodes, as you can see, bringing it down to 5 wounds. He does 3 more wounds to the Grav tank with the right-hand scythe, and then is faced with a choice with the other one. He desperately needs to kill the Vindicator to stop his Warlord being sniped, but he also wants Big Game Hunter from the Custodes. He splits fire against both units, but the gamble doesn't pay off, and they both just about survive.
Nice, very nice.
Right. Charge time.
Does anyone have a charger?
The Deceiver rolls Snake Eyes. The nearby unit of Wraiths, however, makes it into my leftmost unit of bikes, and my Warlord. They don't roll high enough to reach my other bikes. Seizing the opportunity, the other bikes therefore do a stooping dive, hoping to severely weaken the Wraiths before they can strike, but they only kill a grand total of 1 Wraith with their charge, due to his unholy frickin' 3+ invuln. The Wraiths kill 2 bikes, and lose another one to my retaliation, so in the end we just lose 2 models apiece. Jesus. So at the end of his turn, he gets a point for Mission Crit 1, and priority orders nets him 3 more points, so it's 4-3 to Necrons. He missed out on first strike by a hair. My turn 2. I discarded behind enemy lines last turn, so my 2 new cards are Eliminate Threats, and Mission Crit 6, to go along with Assassinate. My Telemon is already holding Objective 6, so this is a pretty nice hand. With the way his save rolls are going, I'm starting to worry about not being able to finish the 1 unit of Wraiths off this turn, so Trajan abandons his castle to go and help out. The wounded Caladius, now with greatly reduced movement, can't get behind the Telemon, and I don't want to move the Telemon, so I resign it to being a speed bump for the incoming Wraiths, if it survives next turn shooting phase of course. My bikes all stay in combat. In shooting, the Vindicator obliterates the enemy warlord, as planned.
That makes me smile.
All the rest of my shooting goes into the rightmost Doom Scythe, and I manage to destroy it. It blows up, doing a wound to the Telemon. In combat, Trajan makes his charge, and takes out a Wraith. The rest of the combat is just friggin' piss poor. I lose another bike, and only take out 1 more Wraith.
That's too much today! Too much!
The Wraiths are continuing to boss their saves, and now 6 more of them are about to pile on top of me. Anyway, this turn I score a bunch of points. I scored all of my objectives, plus slay the warlord, so I'm now on 7. Necrons Turn Two. They had discarded Psych Warfare, and now draw Kingslayer and Supremacy to go along with Big Game Hunter. In order to guarantee Supremacy, Imhotep has to stay back and grab Objective 4, which is out of shot above where the Stalker now is. The Stalker has to run forwards and grab Objective 2, and the Deceiver retreats to claim Objective 1. Here's a reminder of where the objectives are on the board, if it helps. He's grabbed 4, 2, and 1, which form a little triangle at the top of the picture. Other than that, his 2 Wraiths fall back, as they can charge after falling back. The Nightbringer comes forward as does the untouched unit of Wraiths, and you can just about see part of the Doom Scythe in the bottom right of the screen. This picture is actually after shooting, and you can see the last bike from 1 unit is gone, due to the mortal wound powers from one or other of the Catarns. The Doom Croissant targets the Telemon, but I don't think anything gets through. The Stalker had to advance to get to the objective, so can't shoot. So, in the charge phase, I get super lucky again, as this time the Nightbringer fails an easy charge. Man, those Catan are not putting in a very good show so far. The 2 Wraiths charge my Warlord and Trajan, and the other unit multi-charges my bikes and Caladius. Here's what it looks like after combat. Firstly, my characters managed to destroy their assailants, but it was pretty nail-biting, as Trajan took 6 wounds from them.
Wait, what?
The other combat is pretty predictable, with the Wraiths easily finishing off the Caladius, and killing a bike. More annoyingly, however, the Caladius explodes, killing a Wraith, doing 3 wounds to my Vexilla, and killing my Vindicator. God frickin' damn it. So, Necrons score Big Game Hunter and Supremacy, but only roll 1 point for Supremacy, putting them on 6. At the end of round 2, it's 7-6 to Custodes, then. Oh, and as for the 3 wounds you can see my Warlord has suffered, I'm not sure how it happened, but it was probably due to some Catan power or something. My turn 3, and it's 3 new cards for me: Supremacy, Deliver Victory, and Crush Their Resistance. For Crush Their Resistance, my opponent chose Objective 4, which I can't currently reach. Right, so my only way of scoring any points this turn is to get Supremacy, which will then trigger an additional point for Deliver Victory. The only way I can see to do this is to fly my Warlord up to Objective 1, right near the Deceiver. You can see him at the top of the picture. He had to advance to reach it, so can't charge the Deceiver. My bikes stay in combat, and badly wounded Trajan moves up towards the Nightbringer. The Caladius moves up so that it can target the Nightbringer in shooting. Here's a closer look at my Warlord near the objective. He'll have to face an unavoidable heroic intervention from the Deceiver. In shooting, the Telemon deletes the last Doom Scythe, and the Caladius targets Nighty McNightface, but only causes 2 wounds total. I then charge the Nightbringer. I don't want to risk Trajan losing his last wound in Overwatch, so the Caladius charges in first and takes a wound. The Nightbringer has 6 wounds left. Traj manages to slip 2 wounds through past its invuln, with D3 damage each, and rolls a total of 6 damage, killing it outright.
Yes! Hell yeah!
It doesn't explode either, so he lives. Nearby, the grind against the last of the Wraiths continues, with my bikes gaining the upper hand now as his luck starts to even out and he fails a lot more saves. Now there's just 1 Wraith left. Finally, the Deceiver attacks my Warlord, but rolls terribly and does nothing. So, I score supremacy and roll 3 points, which also triggers my deliver victory point, so that puts me on 11. Necrons Turn 3, and their 2 new cards are, Advance, and Hold the Line. A terribly unlucky combination. Imhotep tries, but his little robot legs won't carry him fast enough, and he can't quite get out of the deployment zone, to score Advance. The Wraith falls back towards Trajan, and the Stalker comes forwards towards the bikes. Nothing of note happens in shooting, so, the Wraith charges Trajan, and finishes him off.
Goodbye, old friend.
Over by Objective 1, the Deceiver, Shard of the Deceiver,
Whatever.
pummels my Warlord with its Star God fists, but the Captain survives with 1 wound left. No points this turn for Necrons, so it's currently 11-6 to Custodes. My turn 4. I kept Crush their resistance, and draw Scour the Skies in overwhelming firepower. My Warlord flies over to Objective 4 to try and score Crush their resistance, and my Caladius retreats to the left flank. In shooting, the Caladius finishes off the Stalker, the bikes kill the last Wraith, and the Telemon then kills Imhotep. That leaves the Deceiver as the only Necron model left, and I score 4 points this turn, putting me on 15. We quickly play the next couple of turns to see what happens. Basically, the Deceiver moves back to try and kill my Captain, fails, I fall back, and destroy him with the Caladius. Necrons score no more points, and I score Line Breaker, so the end result is a 16-6 victory for Custodes. The dice rolls for both of us in this battle were extremely swingy. We were either on fire or stone cold, and not much in between. In the end, a few crucial rolls came good for me, such as the Vindicare surviving, Trajan killing the Nightbringer, my Warlord clinging to life after being attacked by the Deceiver. The fact that all my infantry and bikers have objectives secured also really saved my bacon. We talked afterwards about the Wraiths being relocated near to me before the first turn, and agreed that was probably a mistake. It did force my bikes to come forward, though, and therefore be in range of an assault in turn 2. Anyway, that about does it, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next report.
Like and subscribe.
You filthy animal.